If your happiness depended on strangers tapping a heart, how long before you lost your mind? This is not a hypothetical. That's the influencer lifestyle. Sounds a lot darker than it looks. Honestly, relying on constant likes and feedbacks is like to be constantly absorbed in that. Let's drop the fantasy. You think influencers are living the dream? What do you think? In reality, they're trapped in our system. Their personality is a product, the algorithm is the boss. And the boss is ruthless. A good example would be Filthy Frank. He dropped the act and became an artist. Started making music instead of being Filthy Frank anymore. He didn't want to be that person anymore and constantly relying on people's likes. Yes, they have all the money, they have all this, but not every influencer enjoys the intention. Some of them use it as a necessity to make money. A quick test. If Instagram hit likes forever, how many influencers would keep posting the same way? Not just Instagram, Facebook, any of them. Everything becomes content. Not just what you do, but who you are. Who you are becomes content because a lot of them start thinking in a way where, how can I gain views? How can I make this a thing to keep making more views? They perfectly optimizes their lives to be edited and filtered. You stop asking, do I like this? You start asking, will it perform? That shift is dangerous because you're not living your life anymore. You're managing a brand. The brand slowly replaces you and you become the brand. Whether it be gaming, to vlogging, to beauty, to whatever have you. Let me tell you something. Have you ever done something just because it would look good online? Did you do that, record that clip because you thought it would go viral? Everyone gets their 5 seconds of fame. This is saying, right? Everyone wants to be the new best hit, and they see online how these people, child artists, get millions of views, or that new blogger to millions of views and is living at their home. A lot of the new trends usually come from the top people on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. There's an uncomfortable truth in that. Influencers don't get rewarded for being real. They get rewarded for being engaging. Some of them do.
Here we go.
It's not everyone. There's some legitimate influencers out there who do what they love for a reason. A big difference is that drama performs, controversy performs, exaggeration performs. Right now, if you log into YouTube, just no count, right? Open it, sign out, and you just scroll on the reels. It's just people over exaggerating this persona to be more dramatic and more extreme, less real than anything. They pretend to be this out forward person that isn't them, and that's, to me, it's mainly annoying in a lot of ways. Right, all these new gaming videos and content creators are very out loud and out there because they know that will get the views they desire. Not because they're fake people, but because the system pushes authenticity. It doesn't hit. They don't want you to be real. They want you to follow trends, follow niches. That's not creativity, that's adaptation. Right? You're adapting to be this certain version of yourself you wouldn't normally be. I know some people who do that content personally. Well, my partner is also a streamer and she also stresses about whether to perform or not. And that I see that stress does get to someone, it gets into their head, it drills itself there. Ask yourself, would you rather be honest or be viral? You don't always get both. Some do, some don't. A lot of them aren't. Um, Not many succeed in that way. They want to be the next hit, but they never become that next hit. And they keep pretending to be someone they're not. Now let's talk about pressure. Like I've mentioned, my partner, she's constantly under pressure to perform for an audience. This isn't a 9 to 5, there's no clock out. You wake up, content, you go out, content, you relax, still content. And if you stop, you disappear. The algorithm pushes you down or into the void of blacklisting. The algorithm moves fast, it's ruthless, it's running a well-oiled machine that never stops. So you keep posting even when you're tired, even when you're burnt out, even when you hate it. That's not freedom, that's dependency. With better lighting, this constant surge of wanting to make this content over and over. It keeps people fueled, I suppose, in a way that it wouldn't normally. Constantly looking around, not for anything but to find that new angle, that new lighting, that content. And once they find that content, well, they run it dry. And dry they do. Imagine your income dropping because you took a week off. That's normal in the world, right? Took a day off and now you're making less money than you did the day before. And that's what drives a lot of content creators. They're constantly wanting that edge to make more money. A lot of them do depend on money that it's being made on content. The newer stuff now is mainly all the OnlyFans models. A lot of people are very jealous of the amount of money they make while they work a 9 to 5. And there's the mental game, you constantly comparing yourself to people that are doing better. They have more views, more followers, more attention, and then your brain adjusts. What used to feel like success now feels average, right? You go to TikTok right now and you scroll on your feed and you see someone that has millions of views on their videos, but then you go to another account that's even more successful and now it has hundreds of millions more views than that person. What it feels so average, so they start pushing harder, they post more, try more, be more, but it's never enough because the bar keeps moving constantly, it flows, things change. What's in the past is considered cringe and not worthy of watching. I understand not everyone does this, but those that are thriving to be that next hit to make millions want that viral view, that new viral video, so they can make that money they want, but it's never enough because it keeps moving. Scroll for 10 seconds. Notice how quickly your brain says, yeah, that's normal. That's a trap. Your brain just recognizes that. Imagine this, it's millions of views, up to thousands. Then it starts at hundreds, and then it goes to thousands, and then hundreds of thousands, and then millions. That's a lot of people. Can't fit that many people in a room. That's the amount of pressure that puts on you must be heavy on one's shoulders. Their self-worth becomes tied to numbers. Musical validation, likes equal approval, comments, relevance. And those drop, when those drop, so does their mood. Yeah, that's not a career. That's emotional roulette. You win big one day, you feel invincible the other. Over and over. Constant ups and downs. As if they had bipolar disorder, I suppose. Real quick question. Would you still post if no one could see the numbers? Would you care? That video you post of your vacation had no comments, no views, not even you could see it, but you were just allowed to post. No feedback. On the surface, it looks perfect. Perfect. But behind the scenes, it's identity pressure, performance anxiety, a constant need to stay relevant. Some people thrive in it. Most slowly burn out of it. And you won't see that part because struggling doesn't go viral. They fall off just as fast and people move on. Overconsumption of this fast content is what kills people's attention spans. And like I mentioned in my video before, they train it in a way for you to forget that one influencer. You ever have that moment where you scroll on YouTube and then you find someone you subscribed to when you were 10, 12, and now they completely fell off. Yeah, they still make money, right? But their audience grew, you grew without them, and you moved away from their content. Sometimes the influencer doesn't grow with their viewers. Most of the time they fall off. The lifestyle looks like freedom, but if your happiness depends on attention, you're not free. You're just better hiding in the cage. This constant pressure of people hoping that their videos will go big. Right, that happiness, that rush, that adrenaline that fills once the video does go popular. And then all it takes is a simple dislike and a negative comment of someone telling them they could have done better, their video was bad. And that's when the pressure begins. Just think of a pressure cooker. Over time, it builds so much. And it happens slowly or fast, depending on if you're niche, I suppose. It's bad when it gets up there. And it crushes you into a form that you would normally be constantly thinking, will people like this new video? Would people care for me in a couple days? People's attention spans are so low, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Right? They're not a part of their lives, and they're not part of yours. Yet people treat it like they were. Go outside. Talk to people you like. Talk to those you love. Hug them. Smile more. Talk to strangers. Remember, you're loved.